Evans from Minister Rickford's office. I want to welcome everyone here this morning. We've got an announcement that will be led first of all by Minister Rickford, followed by Henry Wall from the Kenora District Services Board, followed by Chief Lorraine Kopanis from the Kenora Chiefs Advisory, followed by Ogichida Kavanaugh, the Grand Chief of Grand Council Treaty 3, followed by our local commander, Jeff Duggan. So I'd now like to call upon Minister Rickford. Greg?
Well, thanks, Ferg, and thank you folks for joining us in a social distance forum here. And many of you here, too many to mention, in fact, have played a pivotal role in the leadership that's been involved in navigating this community and the surrounding area through COVID-19, and I haven't had a chance in a more broad forum to give recognition and appreciation for the discipline that leadership, especially the Indigenous leaders of their communities, the City Council, Mayor and Council for their extraordinary work, and if I may say so, the relationship that the province has had with all of the other levels of government in making sure that Northwestern Ontario is indeed and remains one of the least affected, epidemiologically speaking, from COVID. But today I'm here obviously in the context of a situation that has this summer in particular, and perhaps in no small part due to COVID, prompted us all as leaders to come up with a solution after debate and thought and consideration at all the different levels of government to bring a solution to some of the most vulnerable people in our communities. It looks very much different this year than it did last year, more confined to one specific area of the town. We have people who need our help and our support. To that end, I want to recognize the leadership of Ogichida Kavanaugh, and here we stand on Treaty 3 territory, and with Chief Kopanis. Jeff Duggan is here with his extraordinary staff, Treaty 3 members in the Kenora Chiefs Advisory, and as I said earlier, Mayor and Council, and there are many more who have worked together, particularly over the past 7 to 10 days in light of the local debate, to come up with a solution that I believe will help us get through a period of time where other things, important things, are going to come on board to help address the situation that ultimately we want to provide greater opportunity for, and that is our community's most vulnerable. So today I'm here to announce that our government, alongside with the Kenora District Services Board and in consultation with the Kenora Chiefs Advisory, is investing $1.2 million to bring a branch of the Bear Clan Patrol to the streets of Kenora 24/7, 365 days, which will take us at least until the end of next August. Congratulations to everybody involved in that. I know that the initial reports in the media were, and credit to Kenora Chiefs Advisory and the OPP, was a much smaller fund designed to provide support around the weekends. But over the past 7 to 10 days, in full partnership with our Mayor and Council and Treaty 3 leadership, and in particular the Kenora Chiefs Advisory, and most notably the Solicitor General, Minister Sylvia Jones, and the Attorney General, Minister Doug Downey, and I, through our three ministries, put $800,000 together to make this a more meaningful intervention and announcement for today. This funding is immediate, real-time response to a crisis that's happening here in the streets of Kenora. And I'm glad to report that the Kenora Bear Clan Patrol will begin its operations at 2 p.m. today. My colleagues and I acted swiftly to deliver today's announcement, as I said earlier, in full cooperation with local agencies and organizations and political leadership, bringing a total of $400,000 from the Solicitor General's office, $200,000 from the Office of the Attorney General, and $200,000 from my own Ministry of Indigenous Affairs Ontario to contribute that $800,000 and complement the resources that had been brought forward by the Kenora Chiefs Advisory and the District Services Board. I am proud to deliver this community-based solution in collaboration with Henry Wall and the Kenora District Services Board. Their contribution is much appreciated. Time and time again, folks, our government has come to the table with funding and policy solutions for our community, for Kenora Rainy River and its vulnerable populations. They have included targeted investments in Kenora Rainy River. I'd like to take a moment to review some of them. This month, we announced an additional $150 million to the $350 million for the Social Services Relief Fund. This investment gives municipalities and Indigenous service providers the necessary funding support to protect vulnerable people from COVID-19 by improving homeless shelters, housing solutions, and providing at-risk people with food and supplies. We've heard, and we will likely hear from Henry, how tremendously important this has played in our own communities across Kenora Rainy River. In April, we launched the COVID Action Plan for Vulnerable People to protect those experiencing homelessness or those living in high-risk settings, including targeted support for Indigenous peoples living on and off reserve. Last December, our government committed $675,000 to the Kenora Mobile Crisis and Outreach Team run by the Kenora Chiefs Advisory. We appreciate their leadership to deliver crisis response for youth aged 12 to 24. And of course, last September, the Attorney General Doug Downey and I announced the next steps to establish the Kenora Justice Center to bring community-led solutions and improvements to our justice system here in Northwestern Ontario. And once fully implemented, we believe will play a critical role in reducing the number of homeless people that we see in our community and in our communities. Just a year ago, of course, I was glad to announce $4.5 million to build a new 30-bed housing facility for Indigenous people in Kenora facing chronic homelessness. While COVID has definitely impacted the implementation of some of these projects, we're hopeful that they will onboard in the next 6 to 12 months or slightly beyond. These are just a few actions that we've taken to support the community, the Kenora community, in addition to the All Nations Health Team, or the Ontario Health Team, as it's called. We believe that we're headed in the right direction. But today's announcement represents and respects the fact that we have a problem. And we just spent the last hour committed as political leaders and as leaders of the District Services Board to a process that will ensure that elected officials in every fora of government will now play a more prominent role in how resources and services are delivered in our communities. It is a fact, ladies and gentlemen, that Kenora and the surrounding area are well resourced to deliver services to homeless people and our most vulnerable population. But we have a responsibility as political leaders to ensure that those resources get spent in the right places at the right time for the right and targeted populations. I made that commitment today. Mayor and Council made that commitment today. The leadership of the OPP and the Kenora Chiefs Advisory made that commitment, as did the District Services Board. So we're all in this together. We look forward to this tremendous opportunity, turning one of our biggest issues in this community into an amazing opportunity. So for my part, thank you to all of you. My name is Greg Rickford. I'm the Member of Provincial Parliament for the Great Kenora Rainy River Riding. It's a privilege and an honor to serve you. Thank you for this opportunity.